I've been setting up small studios and live stream rigs for a few years now, and one piece of gear that always sparks hesitation is the monitor recorder. You're not just buying a screen, you're buying a hub that has to handle raw feeds, color grading, and audio routing without slowing you down. The Atomos Shogun AV19 sits at the high end of that category, and before you click Add to Cart, you need to know whether it's solving a real bottleneck or just adding another box to your rack. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. This isn't a monitor you'll toss on a desk and forget. The 19-inch 4K capacitive touchscreen is big enough to judge focus and exposure on set, but it's still small enough to mount in a flight case or a cramped OB van. If you're shooting single-camera interviews or small multicam events, the size gives you a clear view without crowding the operator. Where it really starts to earn its keep is when you're working with RAW or 10-bit HDR sources. The Shogun AV19 can ingest 6K RAW, record ProRes RAW or DNxHR, and switch between them in real time, something most switchers and monitors can't do without an external recorder. That matters when you're live switching a corporate event and need to roll back to a clean ISO without dropping frames. The built-in monitoring tools are where this unit moves past just a monitor. You get waveform, vector scope, false color, and zebras all on one screen, which saves you from carrying a separate scope. If you're color grading on location, the ability to load custom 3D LUTs directly on the monitor means you can see the grade before it hits the edit suite. That's a practical time saver when you're working with clients who want to sign off on color before wrapping. The XLR inputs with phantom power are another real-world advantage. You can patch in a lav or boom, monitor the audio levels, and record a clean ISO track without tying up a separate audio recorder. For run-and-gun shoots where every cable counts, that integration is worth the rack space. Now, the trade-offs. This is a professional tool, so it's priced like one. If you're a solo shooter or a small YouTube channel, the Shogun AV19 is overkill unless you're regularly delivering HDR deliverables or multicam streams. The 19-inch size also means it's heavier than a typical field monitor, so it's not something you'll be slinging over your shoulder on a hiking shoot. Battery life is decent but not all day. You'll still want a V-mount plate or D-tap cable if you're running it off a brick. And while the touchscreen is responsive, it's not as precise as dedicated hardware buttons when you're wearing gloves or working in bright sunlight. Who should buy this? If you're a freelance DP who regularly shoots commercials or corporate events in HDR, the Shogun AV19 replaces 2 or 3 separate boxes. It's also a solid fit for small studios that need a clean switching and recording solution without a full broadcast console. If you're running a live sports stream or a multi-camera talk show, this can sit in the rack as a backup recorder or confidence monitor without slowing you down. Who should skip it? If you're mostly shooting 1080p or standard dynamic range, you won't use the 4K RAW or HDR features enough to justify the cost. The same goes if you're already locked into a Blackmagic or Small HD ecosystem. Adding another brand's monitor can complicate your workflow. And if you're a one-person band with a tight budget, there are cheaper monitors that still give you waveform and LUT support without the switching and recording. The real value here isn't in the specs, it's in the workflow. When you're on set and need to roll back to a clean ISO while still monitoring audio and color, having that all in one box saves minutes that add up to hours over a year. It's not the kind of purchase you make on impulse, but if your projects demand reliability and integration, it's the kind of tool that pays for itself by keeping the shoot moving. If you've been weighing whether this is the right monitor recorder for your setup, take a closer look at the link in the description and decide if the workflow savings justify the investment for your specific use case.